the moment I wake up, before I put on my makeup. I say a little prayer for you.
5, 4, 3.
NotTwo. There's already no you.
alreadynottwo.com.
Sorry? The master of disaster. Yeah. So thanks for joining. What we call a meeting, this so-called a meeting, it isn't what I would call your normal daily meeting, to put it like that. Because what seems to happen most of the times when you join a meeting, there seems to be some information that is provided, and there is the assumption that you need to understand the information that is provided at that apparent time. And the sharing or the suggestion that is being made here today has nothing to do with an understanding. So if you understand what is the suggestion that is being made, or you doesn't, it has no relevance. Often when you join a so-called normal daily meeting, that information that is provided, then they're talking to a you, and there is a you who can apply that information, for example. So the suggestion that is being made here today, it's not to apply to have a better life or whatsoever. It's even worse in that sense, because the suggestion or what is shared today and what is seen is saying there is no you to do whatsoever. So this meeting is just an exposing of the myth that seems to be so common and so, how do you put this in English? So normal in what we call society, that there seems to be a you, and that you is a real you, and you are really having free will and choice, and that whole thing is just seen as illusory. So there is no you already. Maybe it doesn't feel that way, but then that is what's apparently happening. So we can talk about it. When a question is appearing or not.
You say in the meeting there is information to you, but the information itself sometimes is needed for some stuff also. Even if there is no you, this information will be shared, isn't it?
Well, information can be obviously be shared, which is an empty story, but there is no you who can apply that information, for example. So in that sense, everything happens apparently already completely by itself. Yeah. So when you're at
what informations are needed for seemingly for if you want to drive or to learn or something.
Yeah. But there's just no you who is able to learn that, for example, or there is no you who is being able to remember what is being told.
But a mechanism, so like brain or something, or however you name it, so that remembers or something.
Or doesn't. There are no rules. People sometimes say, oh, I forgot about that, but there is no you who can even remember or forget about anything. So information that is provided, it will just appear or it doesn't.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
So in that sense, it can all drive as it drives along as well. The meetings happen, so...
Yeah, without any reason.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what seems to happen when, to talk about what we call society, for example, the illusory sense of separation for a lot of people is deeply unsatisfying. And they are seeking for an answer to escape that unsatisfying feeling, for example. And what seems to happen is also what we talked about it yesterday. Most people are helping you just to maintain that in that sense. So this is not a better experience. What is seen, it's the end of the experiencer that dies with that experience. Whole society is built upon that same illusion, that there is a you who can be responsible for whatsoever, and that whole thing just doesn't exist.
So there is no knowing when the body dies what is happening then?
Sorry?
When the body dies,
Yeah.
there is no knowing what is happening then.
Then that body stops. So what? It was never yours. It's just a body that seems to stop.
So at least there is an end.
No, there isn't. Because it's still the same appearance. What we're talking about is not a real thing, it's an appearance. So there's no real beginning or a real end.
But for the body?
It's an appearance, it's not a real something. But if you want to call it an apparent end. There is no such thing as real time and space. So that's coming out of that whole dreamt reality. That there is a you were born into this world, you move through space and time by growing up, having a job, maybe having a midlife crisis, or not. And then, from a certain point, you died. You were never born.
It's imagination that it will never end.
Sorry? Imagination that?
That what is, it will never end. It will be for all time or no time. From the direction I have now, it's horrible if it never ends.
Then that is what's happening. It's all there is. What we're talking about is all there is. There is nothing else. And if you find that horrible, then that's obviously what seems to happen. This is not a pointing to what they call it, bliss or whatsoever, or to experience bliss, or no. The suggestion that is being made here is what's happening is everything, apparently. So everything is a lot. So anything can happen in that sense. When we talk about liberation, for example, liberation is just the end of that separate, or of that dreamt separate dualistic reality, where there are good things, bad things, right and wrong. So then things are just as they are. For the individual, seeing, individual doesn't do that, but when there is the sense of being an individual, seeing that this is emptiness can be terrifying. Yeah? Or fear can appear. Though mostly it's the fear that appears of losing something which isn't already there. It's the fear of losing control, and there's no one in control already. So that's wild in that sense.
So just like we watch a movie to get entertained, this all happened to have some entertainment.
If you call it like that. Huh? It's really like a joke. It's just like one big joke. Though nobody's laughing about that, but yeah. The me is searching, the me doesn't do that, but when there is the sense, it's just long story short, otherwise it's that same story. So it is seeking for that what is already constantly happening, apparently. So it's not just during this meeting. No, when you walk through that door or you go outside, all that is seen is already the mystery you're looking for. It's constantly happening, apparently. Already. Though it's not a certain thing. The individual is searching for something and wishes that it would be everlasting. I want an everlasting something, but a beautiful something. Not a horrible one. Please. And it believes by free will and choice, it can hold on to that. And it doesn't. Or this is saying it's impossible. It's not such a nice thing to say.
So through this contraction, you could say this differentiation between things or separation is starting.
Yep.
And when that gets less and less, then this differentiation just is no more.
Well, you can still say it, but it's not longer a real thing, yeah?
Yeah, and then it's like nothing is happening also. Because when everything is the same, then
Not because, just it is.
whatever.
Whatever.
Yeah.
Nothing is because of. Yeah. But what seems to happen, like you were saying, is that that contraction that apparently appears in the body from a very young age, out of that comes that whole sense of separation, yeah. So that contracted energy apparently comes together with the self-consciousness, self-awareness, which is just saying the same as knowing. From a certain age, I know that I'm here. It's the same. That's what keeps you separate. Only apparently because there is no one who is really separate, of course.
So when the subject dissolves, then all objects dissolve as well.
Yep.
As something else.
Absolutely. For no reason. Not because of. For no reason. For no reason. That's the compassion. No conspiracy today.
In your case, this illusion of being somebody disappeared quickly or slowly, or how was it?
Well, it's depending a bit on the idea you have, what is quickly and or what is slowly.
Quickly, I would say like one day, or slowly can be like...
Yeah, it would be a story in time, of course. It doesn't happen in time, so in that sense. Just within the story that that contraction was no more, or the me dropped away, which is a story itself, of course. For no reason, obviously, but before I heard of non-duality or spirituality. And then it seems to be back, which is a story, of course. So when then this started to seek for answers and came across spirituality and then later a non-duality, within, I don't know, within the story of time, maybe 2-3 years, something like that, I guess. Probably. Yeah, something like that. Yeah.
And how came it that you started to talk about it?
For no reason.
Like people started asking you? Or?
I even have no clue how it started again, but of how it started, because there never ever was a desire to talk about this. Apparently it did happen, but yeah. But yeah, when it's apparently happening, it has no reason. This is just what is and isn't. So what is and isn't somewhere out there. It's all there is. So it's not by choice that somebody is starting to
Yes,
talk
sure.
talk about this, because it's simply seen from the moment the sense of separation is no more. Immediately it's seen that there never ever was a real you. Yeah? So it's not even a realization. It's just what is left is nothing. Yeah. Yeah. Which doesn't make it special, by the way. Yeah. It's the end of the one who wants to be special. Yeah. It's not what I imagined when this did still feel like someone. Seems to be an in-loveness, one could say.
Sorry?
There seems to be an in-loveness, one could say, yeah. To me, this is just compassion. Pointing that out, that what is illusory. So it's not feeding that same dreamt reality. Not by choice, just what's apparently happening.
Compassion for whom?
For no one.
For whom? For now?
It's just an empty story.
But compassion for no one. It's a strange sentence.
Then it's a strange sentence.
Compassion for no one. That's not working.
Sorry?
That's not working for me. Compassion for no one.
Perfect. There's no intention behind this. Maybe I didn't say it, but there is no intention behind anything.
You could say compassion is no separation or something like that.
Well, I call it compassion in that sense.
No, for him.
Yeah, okay.
Maybe, well, sorry.
No, that's okay. So it's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's just what is meant by that is that almost everyone is just feeding that dreamt reality, not by choice, but when a young child grows up, everyone is talking to that child like it's a real one who has real responsibility and who has really free will and choice. And that is just what the dreamt reality keeps going.
But could it be in a way a necessity in the so-called nature to survive, and so to say, hey, you should learn this, you should learn that.
There's no me needed for that because it's already not there.
Yeah, but for this body to survive, it needs a kind of. Maybe they also made a shortcut, not to say.
There's no
not to explain you are not a. Or I don't know how to say. So in the survival system, yeah, so maybe
the me or the illusory sense of me is not needed at all.
Yeah, that okay, but the wording, so to say, you have to this to do.
Well,
that.
the wording can be helpful in that sense. If I ask you to pass me a glass, for example, okay, then I could ask if it happens like that to pass me a glass. So in that sense, it can be helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, but the intention of somebody is there, and
But what is meant by that is just that it seems like a young child is far more free than most adults because they lost that childlike wonder, to put it like that. Yeah. And how does it apparently happen is because everyone is constantly feeding that same dreamt reality because they are feeling like someone. So as long as there is the sense of a you, they're talking to a you as well, and you are having free will and choice. And for a lot of people, that sense is deeply unsatisfying. When the me, to give an example, is suffering from negative thoughts, for example, which isn't positive nor negative, but it seems to be in that separate dreamt dualistic reality. Yeah. When it's suffering from thoughts, it believes it can do something about it. But if there would be really a you who has control, there would be no negative thoughts, for example. So a lot of people seems to suffer. And everyone is or almost everyone, is offering help, but they are never addressing the root cause of separation. So that's what I call compassion, by pointing that out. This message, which isn't a real message, of course, but that's the compassion. Because the list of things that they can provide you to do something about it is just in the same dreamt reality over and over and over again. Because they're starting from a point that there is a you who's having free will and choice. And it doesn't exist. It simply is not there. There's a lot of anger in the world. I don't know if you noticed it. There's a lot of frustration. People don't get enough satisfaction, don't find fulfillment.
Also, one could say that mystery completely is ordinary.
Absolutely.
There is no one
sitting on a seat. It's the mystery.
Yes.
This is
that happen?
nothing.
It's all. It's all.
Sorry.
It's all.
It's all.
What happens? It's all. But for no one.
This is the wonder.
This is wonder. Yes, yes.
This is the wonder.
Ah,
This.
yeah.
It's not there. It's constantly happening. Constantly.
Without reason.
For no
There's
reason.
For no reason.
It's a joke. It's a hilarious joke, though nobody seems to laugh about it, but it's constantly already happening. Wherever you go, it's that. It's that is Flemish. It's that. Yeah. There's nothing else. There's nothing else.
Nothing is happening and nothing is missing.
But that's the illusory sense. That's just, there seems to be something missing, and there isn't. Nothing is missing. Or for a lot of people, it seems to be they feel not good enough. So they are searching for someone to help them, to save them. And one day they will arrive and they will be good enough. And that is never going to happen.
So funny that out of this completeness, this searching energy suddenly arises. Yeah.
That's what seems to happen. And that's where the misconception, one could say, starts.
There is no reason, but...
But is always a good start for me. Yes, but. Yes, yeah, get it, yeah, but. Or 3 times but will also do the trick. Yes, but.
For the young child,
Yeah.
then it still feels this completeness in a way, but it's also...
But it doesn't feel that completeness. It doesn't feel separate. You don't feel completeness. How would you feel completeness? It's just there is no lack in a young child.
Yeah.
There is no, that sense of separation isn't there.
I mean, not that young, when they are a bit older.
Oh, okay
And
then.
Grown-ups, parents, whatever, have
Mhm.
demands, or why did you smash this, whatever, and why do you eat with your fingers, stuff like that. And this is this feeding you are talking about, and this the feeding of the sense of separation.
Mhm.
And yeah, then it starts like this with, oh, something is wrong with me. I never do something right, or some. Well, that's just a story, but it's like.
Yeah, though that is Flemish again. Sometimes I speak Flemish, seems to be. Yeah, of course. Everyone in that environment feels like someone, so then they talk like that child is someone too. But that's not the root cause in that sense. So it's not only by people are telling you, or that the thought appear, I'm not good enough. So it's more than that.
Yeah, it just reinforces it.
There's a possibility, that it's reinforced constantly. So in that sense, this message is still there. What doesn't make it special, but there's no feeling to that dream whatsoever. Not by choice, it just happens like that. Because it's a very simple seeing that the me you believed yourself to be and felt yourself to be, it just isn't there. Amen to that.
And then the young child feel not separation and feel not completeness.
No, yeah.
Beides.
Yeah,
The same.
absolutely.
It's
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah. Because it seems so normal. This couldn't talk about a so-called contraction in the body. It felt so normal how it felt. I could only talk about that contraction was no more when it was gone. Not before, so-called before. It's really that felt sense. Because of that felt sense, it seems like there is a real you. I am here. And when I am here, then all the rest obviously is out there, or is there. Here, there, that's duality, that's the separation.
The
Yeah.
sense to be.
Yeah, that's in liberation, that just evaporates or dissolves, or it's just a story. It's just no more. Yeah. So then, just easy life, really. It's nothing special. It's just no longer somebody who is sitting on the seat. There's just sitting on a seat. That's the wonder.
But I was often with Andreas Müller together, and he also, with his child, he's in a way totally normal, behaves to his child to sit quiet and not to make so much crowd, and what. But it's also this could not be the
Yeah, but
case.
this is saying he is not doing that.
Yeah, okay. But
That's whatever happens is whatever happens.
Yeah.
So what's happening is everything. So yeah. This isn't an answer to something or whatsoever. This still gets annoyed, anger still to appear, or whatever that seems to happen.
and even a bit rigid, where I would say, oh, let it play.
Mm.
So he was rigid.
Yeah. Perfect.
Hatte er sein Kind mit beim Talk?
Im Talk war er dann leise, aber sonst ganz normalen Umständen. Sorry, Andreas.
Oh yeah, now you have to make up. I'm gonna send him a copy. Yeah. Andreas? Woo. Now we got a story. Look what's happening, but only apparently. He will get back to you, or not.
So Andreas said sometimes even if you try to avoid, the child will get this sense of separation. So
Yeah.
it has nothing to do with what you think to do with him. So
It happens as it happens. And apparently it seems to happen for most human bodies, or it seems to happen in most human bodies. Yeah. There seems to be, exceptionally, I don't know so much about that whole contraction doesn't appear. Rarely, yeah. But for the majority of people, it just seems to happen like that. Yeah. But that's where the misconception starts, that there is someone who has free will and choice. I have good company. It's nice company.
Old friend.
the poor guy has no will and choice.
Though it's worse, it's only half the story. It's only half the story. There is no one to have free will and choice. It's often misheard. Often people are saying, oh, so I have no free will and choice. It's not quite it.
It's the lover of life.
Yeah, we have to show him to the camera so the people understand what we are talking about.
Why?
This is what you're looking for.
We need no clarity now.
There are a lot of people who can provide you some clarity. Most of them. What a joke.
I wanted to differentiate it because you say there are some people, the people who need help. So when I break my leg, I normally go to the doctor because I need help. But also in psychic cases, when depression or burnt out or something like that, you look for help, isn't it? Isn't it?
But
natural?
it's what's happening.
Yeah. Okay. So
Just
it's
this
not-
is saying this is not an answer that you do. This is just saying you are not doing that.
Yeah. Okay.
So
then
when
this
this apparent
is yeah.
going to a doctor, then it's apparently going to the doctor, but not by you who can consciously make a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. No, only to not to miss. Oh, now because I need help. I should not look for help because it would mean that.
That's not what is being suggested here at all. Yeah. Oh, I break my leg. Oh, yeah, I just stay here. There's nothing that can be done about it.
It's,
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's what's happening.
So in that sense, also free will and choice in the democratic system means also that you have more possibilities to make this or that or that.
Yeah,
No,
though that is not what I mean by free will and choice.
Yes, okay,
Yeah.
that
What I'm saying is that there is no one who has free will and choice. So when the choice apparently is being made by going through the doctor, that is what's happening.
Yeah.
But it's not happening because of a you who is thinking about that. Yeah.
Gut, das war der Wunsch. Yeah, I have no point. It's endless in that case. No beginning, no end.
But thinking about it is happening without me. The thinking
Sorry?
about it is happening without me.
Of course.
Already.
But maybe I didn't say it, but you are not there already.
Yeah.
It's a joke, it's a joke. Yeah, of course. That is just the whole, or is just coming out of that dreamt separate dualistic reality. Most people are going to tell you differently, that you can whatsoever, have no clue, but it doesn't matter at all. But thinking or thoughts just appear completely by themselves. Yeah, of course. So for that situation, when there is pain or something is apparently broken, then the thought appear maybe, and the movement to go see a doctor. It's completely natural. Though not by choice, there's no one who can make that choice. Let me think about that. Not so sure what he's saying.
So because of the thoughts there is action.
It's not because of, it's what's happening. What's happening is already everything. So it's not because of.
This is difficult for me.
Yeah. Just think a bit more about that. Thoughts just appear. In so-called liberation, it's still the same. Thoughts are just appearing for no one. There's just no one to talk to. It's an empty house. The suggestion that is being made here today is utterly, utterly ordinary and simple. There's nothing magic to it. There's absolutely nothing special about it. Just this is already it as it is. That's what's happening. Moving furniture, apparently.
Sunday.
Not by choice.
I think
then
it's
can-
Staubsauger.
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
It's good that you think that. Can someone clarify what they're doing, please?
The whole rest, and the whole rest of the universe.
And then comes the thought in that is uncomfortable.
For example, yeah.
For example.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's just a story about what's happening.
That's a story.
Because it's indescribable, really. Every attempt to describe is really a failure in that sense, but
But the story is okay.
there's nothing wrong, of course. It's what's happening. Everything is okay. Even when it's not okay.
Als Wesen
They have a lot of children. It's always very noisy.
So then we just wait to meditate when it's more quiet. Don't disturb me.
Nico, please speak a little of the role of the brain.
I have no clue about that.
No?
And it would just be an empty story as well.
Then
The only thing I can
there
say...
is information hier tut es weh, ich weiß nicht, wie man das jetzt
it would-
ausdrückt. Schwarz hier. Then information to the brain and
I have no clue.
this or that.
Can't provide you that information. It would just be an imaginary story as well. It doesn't mean anything.
He has to Google too then.
Well, that whole investment of what's happening is just no more. So
That's a question because neuropsychology ist Blödsinn, die ganze Neuropsychologie oder Neurophysik.
Wieso? Die haben doch auch schon rausgefunden. They
Ja,
also
das weiß ich.
found out that there is no me.
Das ist alles klar, aber
Ja.
es gibt doch Informationen, die verarbeitet werden über Gehirn. Das geht doch nicht ohne Gehirn, weil wir können es gar nicht sprechen.
Aber
Die Informationen hast du doch
nobody
alle.
said that there is no brain.
There are just patterns in the brain.
Bitte?
Es gibt einfach Verbindungen, die öfter befahren werden und da ist dann einfach mehr
Ja,
Strömung.
ja, das weiß ich ja alle, klar. Also
Ja,
ohne
ist-
Gehirn, wenn das klar wäre,
You can relate.
thanks. It's good, good. Good. Alright. Let's have a siesta. Let's have a siesta.
Let's have some science class
Yeah.
today.
What's the
Well-
point, Leo?
Yeah, what's the point?
But there's no point. It's just an empty story. So it doesn't mean anything. Just the me lives in the world of knowing and owning. There's nothing wrong with that. But that's what it likes.
Na, wenn du keine Information hättest, würdest du nicht hier sitzen. Das hat alles eine unglaubliche Vorgeschichte, dass du jetzt sitzt. Aber es gibt trotzdem keinen Grund. Wie zweigleisig fahren.
Jetzt verstehe ich gar nicht.
I understand what he says. Like this, all this brain is functioning and stuff, but this is no proof that there is some body.
It's just a story about what's apparently happening.
Yeah.
All is allowed, you say.
Well, it's nothing special about it. It's just a story in that sense. All is a story about something that is utterly unknowable. The me labeled it as a brain. So what?
Yes. That's Tune's story here.
Of course,
It's a story.
obviously.
No Sinn.
No,
Sense. No sense.
No meaning. It's completely. It's the most meaningless place to be.
Yes.
This is the most meaningless meeting you ever joined. Absolutely. You got it.
Total bedeutungslos.
Thought yesterday was the most.
Now, today we're gonna top it. Yeah. Today is going to be even
Point, because
less
ever
meaning.
fresh.
Yeah.
It's ever fresh meaning.
Yeah. This is the worst place to be for an individual.
That gives me some pride that I've been at the most meaningless meeting.
Again?
It gives me some pride.
Maybe you can share it on
You see
Facebook now.
That's our side
Yeah.
effects.
Yeah.
I wanted to warn you, but
Yeah. Maybe I didn't tell you, but there's no meaning to life.
Oh.
Life is utterly, utterly meaningless. There is no meaning nor purpose whatsoever. It just simply isn't there.
But if the illusion of the me is believed,
Mm-hmm.
it seems that if there is a belief in a meaning, the person feels happier, and if the person cannot find a meaning, for many people it's like a reason for depression or something.
Yeah. And that's what's happening. Huh?
But if nobody's there, it's no problem that there's no meaning.
There's no one. It's just that it's not because of, it's even, which is a story, obviously, but that's the beauty. Which seems awful for the me, that there is no meaning nor a purpose to whatever this is. That's the beauty. Then everything just can be as it is. Because that's part of the struggle of being someone. That there is meaning and purpose. What's happening when the sense of separation seems to be there, apparently, is the me is giving meaning and purpose within the story to everything. But that's that whole dreamt, separate, dualistic reality. This is meaningful, this is something for me, this I don't like, this I like, and it's that constant struggle. Yeah. It only wants the good stuff.
Yes. So.
Because it knows there is bad stuff as well. It lives in that world of opposites.
And any found meaning can be lost, or any purpose can be not reached. So.
What do you mean by that?
Like when you find a meaning, it's also possible that you lose it. Or if you have a purpose,
Mm-hmm.
you can be successful or unsuccessful.
Well,
so
depending.
you have always the two.
Yep.
Mm.
Yeah, the me has really a lot of things. Whew. It's a huge, it's huge. The me is a rich individual. Has so many things.
Yeah.
Ja, das ist klar, ja.
I just had this imagination, like the me is going with so many luggage full of thoughts, and traveling is really difficult.
Yeah. That's how it's appearing. Because it's stuffed with beliefs and stories, and it's all our real beliefs. Yeah. For me, it seems like that.
And one thing I feel the me is never really present. It's always in thoughts, in imagination.
Mhm.
And what will be then, and I'm planning the next day and the next week, and it's just never
Mhm.
here.
Yeah, it lives in what's coming and what was, and that seems to be the reality they call normal.
But even to be in the present, it would not make a...
But who is there to be in the present? There is no such thing as presence. There is no such thing as presence, or it's not even a real before or now or after, or it's just constantly this.
When there is no me, there is no present and no here. There is no here. No me, no here.
Voilà.
Present. Same. Or
Yeah. So yeah,
But when
it's a good title. No me, no here. I try to remember it.
But when you say to me, always comes too late to the party, so
Yeah.
this is also kind of time, or after it comes too late.
But it's not a real after. It's just an empty story. It doesn't mean anything. But obviously, we are sharing stories. Every story is completely meaningless. And what is meant by that is that it's so often, but apparently it's not, that there is no one who is having control. It's always the idea that needs to be resolved after it's already happened. Doesn't mean anything, it just seems to happen that way. Like that example, the me seems to live in a world of positive and negative, and it seems to suffer from what they call negative thoughts, for example. So it needs to resolve it afterwards. In that sense, the me is always late to the party. Yeah, absolutely. Or there seems to be sadness, and it doesn't want to be sad, so it needs to be doing something about that sadness. So it's always late to the party. But the me doesn't do that. I often use the word me, seems to be. It's just meaning that when there is that sense of being someone or of a me, that doesn't mean it is there. But yeah, one could say it's late to the party, absolutely. Because if you don't like sadness, why it would be then appearing if there was a you who could control that? Or how was it? Did you sleep good? No, I couldn't sleep. I was so much thinking last night. If there would be a you, then just stop thinking. Problem solved. Right? But that's not how it is. No, I need to look for help for someone who can help me that I can sleep at night. For example. It's just a joke in that sense, but that's what is meant by the me is always late to the party. So in that sense, it's obvious that there is no one who is having any control whatsoever. And it's not saying that you don't have no control and free will. It's worse. There's no one to have it.
So in that sense, controlling can happen in a case, in a contextual case, okay, when I drive car or something.
Yeah, but completely by itself.
Yeah,
Yeah.
okay. Or regulation, self-regulation, that I can, that the system can sleep better and with some techniques. So
everything
can happen.
Of course. But we're talking about it's already the case.
Yeah, okay.
It's already like that.
This is included, all inclusive. So
of course. Yeah, absolutely.
illness and health, blah, 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 all inclusive.
Everything, yeah. Yeah.
In the story. Okay.
in the story. No?
Thank you for
Nico, and no one sees this, feels this,
Hmm.
thinks this. This is what happens,
Apparently, yeah.
apparently.
Yeah. Yeah, that works, but yeah, this isn't really
There
happening.
is no possibility to see this.
Well, seeing, depending on how you mean, how that is meant, is already happening. So this is already what's apparently happening. It's constantly already happening. Just what seems to happen within that dreamt separate dualistic reality, which is illusory. The me adds itself. It doesn't do that. It happens like that. It's to everything. Thinking is completely happening by itself. Apparently, all is apparent, of course. But thinking is happening, so the me adds itself to it. I am the one who's doing the thinking. Yeah. I am the one who did choose to come to this meeting. Or whatsoever, yeah. If I ask you if you would like to have coffee or tea, for example, then there's a chance that an answer will appear. But for me, it looks like I can choose to have coffee or tea. And it just happens completely by itself.
It's very, very, very simple.
It's utterly simple.
There's already no you. Not two.